Welcome to Job Bridges Japanese Language Training Center. We provide an online tutorial for people who aspires to work in Japan. Before we start, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel to keep you updated on our lessons to help you master Japanese language in no time. Konnichiwa minasan! Welcome back to Job Bridges Japanese Language video tutorial. And in this video, we'll be discussing Lesson 19. And in Lesson 19, we have the ta form and of course, the sentence pattern that includes verb ta form. Are you ready? So in the previous lessons, we've discussed about verb te form, verb nai form, verb dictionary form, or what we can also call the verb rule form, and of course now, as I've said, verb ta form. So this is the last verb conjugation that we will be discussing. So the ta form is made by changing the te and de of the te form into ta and da respectively. So compared, or since you already know how to change verb into te form, changing verb into ta form is very easy. So take a look at the example. Alright, as I've said, changing te and de of the te form into ta and da respectively is how you change your verb ta form. So in group 1, so for example, if the te form is kaite, of to write, okay, the ta form is kaita, changing the te into ta. Then for nomimas, the te form is nonde, then the ta form will be nonda. Wakarimashita? Now let's move to group 2. For example, in tabete, which came from the word tabemas, or to eat. So tabete is the te form, the ta form would be tabeta. As easy as that. So like for mite, to see, it could be, or in ta form, it will be mita. Then lastly, in group 3, kite, which came from the verb mass form kimas, the ta form will be kita. Okay, kita. And then any verb that ends in shite will be shita in ta form. So like benkyou shite will be benkyou shita, kekkon shita. What else? We also have sentaku shimas will in te form is sentaku shite, in ta form is sentaku shita. Wakarimashita minasan? So as long as you know how to change the verb into their te form, it will be easy changing that verb into its ta form. So the first sentence pattern that uses the verb ta form is verb ta form koto ga arimasu. Again, verb ta form koto ga arimasu. So this has or have the experience of the verb ing. This sentence pattern is used to describe what one has experienced in the past. Take a look at this example. Uma ni no takoto ga arimasu. Again, uma ni no takoto ga arimasu. Saying, I have ridden a horse. So note that in this sentence, you are saying that you have experience or has the experience in riding the horse. Now, take note that the past tense is used when simply implying or mentioning something that happened in the past as a particular experience. So compare the first example that I gave you to this one. Kyonen, Hokkaido de uma ni norimashita. Again, Kyonen, Hokkaido de uma ni norimashita. Or simply saying, I rode a horse in Hokkaido last year. Now, what could be the difference between the first and second example? Alright, note that in the first example, you said that you have ridden or I have ridden a horse. It could mean that you have ridden the horse many times as an experience. That's why we use the verb ta form koto ga arimasu or uma ni no ta koto ga arimasu. Now, in the second example, you're just saying that you rode a horse in Hokkaido last year using the uma ni norimashita, which could mean that that was your first time or one time that has ridden a horse. Wherein no ta koto ga arimasu, it could mean that you have ridden a horse one too many times in your life. While the second example is just stating that you have ridden a horse in Hokkaido last year. Did you see the difference? So again, using the ta form koto ga arimasu is stating an experience, while the second example, wherein you just use the past tense of the verb, is saying something that just happened. So experiencing something and stating something that just happened is very different. Now, the next sentence pattern that uses the verb ta form is the verb ta form ri, verb ta ri shimasu, or this is what we usually call the verb tari shimasu. Or in English, it's a verb 1, verb 2, and so on. Now, this sentence pattern is used when doing the same with the verbs. The tense is shown in the end of the sentence. Again, a sentence pattern that is used when doing the same thing or same with verbs. The tense, again, is shown in the end of the sentence, like what we usually do when we use 2 to 3 verbs in one sentence. The tense, may it be past, past negative, present, or present negative, can be seen in the last verb of the sentence. Now, take a look at this example. On Sundays, I play tennis, see a movie, and so on. Nichyobi wa teniso wo shittari, eiga wo mittari shimasu. Noting that this is habitual, that's why at the end of the sentence or at the end verb, the last verb, the tense is in shimasu or in the present future tense. Now, next example. Nichyobi wa tenisu wo shittari, eiga wo mitari shimashita. Last Sunday, I played tennis, saw a movie, and so on. Now, in this example, the tense of the verb is in the past tense. Past positive tense. How did we know that? Because of the verb mitari shimashita. Alright, so last Sunday, okay, I played tennis, saw a movie, and so on. Now, you might ask, Sensei, how does this differ from the verb te form? So, make sure that you don't confuse the meaning of this sentence pattern with that of the te form sentence below, which you learned in lesson 16. So, usually in lesson 16, we would say Nichyobi tenisu wo shite eiga wo mimashita, or last Sunday I played tennis and then saw a movie. So the difference with using the te form sentence and the tari sentence is that the te form sentence, as I've said before, are used when 2 or more actions take place in succession. Alright? These are the actions that took place or will take place in succession. While using the tari form of the verb, is like stating the actions that you did, okay, or you will do, but not in their succession. For example, you're just thinking of eating breakfast, taking a bath, reading a book, but you might not do it in succession, so you use the tari form of the sentence or ta form of the sentence. But if you try to tell it to someone and then you're trying to tell them the succession of the action words that you will be doing, you will use the te form of the verb. Is that clear, everyone? Now, the last topic for lesson 19. Aren't we fast? Actually, this is just a coverage of lesson 19. So for this one is using the narimas or become. So if it's an E adjective, it's E adjective. Remove the last E of the E adjective, change it into ku, then narimas. Then if it's a na adjective, remove the na in the na adjective, change it or add ni, narimas, which means become again. And if it's a noun, it's ni, narimas. Again, noun ni, narimas, to become. So as I've said before, narimas means become, and it indicates changes in a state or condition. So let's see the examples that we have. So for the E adjectives, we have samoy. So when you want to say that it became cold or it will become cold or to get cold, you say samuku narimasu. Again, samuku narimasu. Remove the last E of samoy, change it into ku, then add narimasu, which means to get cold. Now, what are the other examples that we could have for E adjectives? What if something will become big? So, to be big or large is oki. Now, to get big or to become big, we transform it into okiku narimasu. Okiku narimasu. Removing the last E, changing it into ku, then adding narimasu, which means to get big. Now, for na adjectives, the example that we have here is genki na. Again, genki na. So, for na adjectives, you just have to remove the na, change it into ni, then add narimasu. It will become genki ni narimasu, or to get well. Other examples, if you want to say someone will get famous, so we have yumei na. Remove na, add ni, and narimasu. So we'll have yumei ni narimasu, or to get well. Now, how about using it in the noun? So what we have here is the nijugosai. So when you want to say that someone will turn 25 years old, you just add ni to nijugosai, then narimasu. So it will become nijugosai ni narimasu, or to turn 25 years old. Another example in using the noun ni narimasu is, what if you want to say that your Japanese is improving? So you could say Nihongo ga jouzu ni narimasu, right? Jouzu ni narimasu, or to improve. Wakarimashita minasan? Wakatta ne? Alright, that's just it for today. See you on our next videos. And don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel to keep you updated on our lessons so you can master Japanese language in no time.